inviting you guys to start on your backs, taking a moment to get comfortable. I'm going to stay seated because I do have a reading I want to share with you. So I'll guide you from seated, but I just invite you to find a comfortable position on your back. You may want to bend your knees so that, that's really nice for the low back to have the knees bent, and it also places us in a little bit more of an active position, so we're not in Shavasana right now. You can be, if you need that for the whole practice, you can do that and just be here to listen. Certainly an option. And then maybe you'd like something to support your head. And as you settle into your posture, really allow the body to feel heavy, just letting go into gravity. One of the ways that I find peace, as that was a request today, is by letting go into trusting Mother Earth, trusting that we are supported, held, nurtured, and nourished always. So really recognizing and honoring that connection to her. And so taking a moment to just be present to the surface you're lying on. Know that that surface, that flooring, is supported by a foundation, and that foundation is supported by the earth beneath it. And we can keep working our way into the deeper aspects of the earth, where the roots of the trees grow. We can even go deeper than that. This amazing home or planet that we call home. Just breathe with her for a moment. Breathe with your body and breathe with her. And as we begin to deepen that trust, we also begin to deepen the trust within. We begin to trust ourselves. We slow down to listen to that small, still voice within us, and to be guided by that source, by that light, by that place of peace and wisdom always. Let's take a moment to check in with the layers of our being, to get to know who's on the mat this morning. And we'll begin with Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, and just a little check-in from head to toe. Noticing any areas that are asking for a little extra care or attention today. Acknowledge those places, let them know you hear them. You might even learn to ask questions to your body and how you can serve it. How can this practice serve the physical body that's on the mat today? What does it need? Checking in with Pranamaya Kosha, our energy body, where our breath resides, the chakras, the nadis, the meridians, so the more of the energy systems of the body. And as you take a moment here, just notice what you feel, the subtle sensations running through you. Notice where you're experiencing them. And if any images come to mind, a sense of texture to those sensations, or color, or temperature. Moving in, and also recognizing our breath and the quality of our breath this morning. So let's move into a nice extended breath, slowly deepen it. Lately, I've been encouraging you to decide how you would like to exhale, whether it's through the nose or the mouth. And so you can check in with that here. Inhaling, nice, slow, full inhale through the nose. And then notice what resonates most with you today. Exhaling through the nose or slowly releasing the breath through the mouth. Maybe even making an audible sound like from the back of the throat, as if you do want to. Allowing that sensation to vibrate through the body. Checking in with Manomaya Kosha. This is our mental and emotional body. Notice if our minds have been stuck in a loop. And a willingness to open that loop, let those thoughts fly off for a little bit. If they're important enough, you'll find your way back to them. And maybe you're recognizing it's time to let them go for good. Emotionally, what are we feeling? What's there at the surface for you this morning? Again, and just acknowledging what's coming up and not defining one as better or worse than another. We like to decide that feeling one way is the right way or a good way and feeling another is bad. What if it just is? It's just this experience of being human, riding the wave of those emotions. Continue working in, we go to the wisdom body, Vijnanamaya Kosha. I like to share this as this is the place of our intuition, right? We're going in, we're starting with the external, we moved into the energetic body, we moved into the mental, emotional, and now we're in that place of intuition, inner knowing, where our wisdom resides. And we're more likely to hear that wisdom and act upon it when our lives aren't so full of to-dos. When we don't fill every moment of our day with having to accomplish and do something and allow ourselves to be, resting in our beingness. And then we can hear that still small voice. And the more we align with our own truth, with that voice within us, trusting that guidance, the more we can remember our essence is peace. That's our truth. That is who we are. So this practice, each time we enroll our mats and come onto our mat, it's an opportunity to come home to ourselves, to our truth, to our knowing. I'm going to share with you a reading this morning from the Book of Awakening. It actually is today's date if you have this book, December 16th, and it's called Fully Knowing the Road. It begins with a quote by Yogi Berra: "If you come to a fork in the road, take it." Like the cones of Zen monks and the wit of Shakespeare's jesters, we may never know if the sayings of this baseball legend are utter nonsense or utter wisdom. But the longer we stay with them, the more they reveal. What this one says to me is not to stall too long at the crossroads of life, not to hesitate our way out of living. We can't experience everything, and taking one road will always preclude another. But agonizing over which to take can eventually prevent us from knowing any road. Even when taking one road, keeping the other alive in our mind for too long is the beginning of regret. In fact, giving over to regret is a way to resist our limitations, a way to still take the other road with us. It's the heart's way to be stubborn. Ultimately, keeping the other road so actively with us only keeps us from fully knowing the road we have chosen. We are beautifully limited creatures capable of great moments of full living, but we can't have it all or experience it all. we can only, paradoxically, experience all there is by giving ourselves completely and humbly to the small path we are drawn to. I felt this reading is so appropriate right now. We're all having to make choices that align with our truth. And it also begins humbly right here on our mats and the choices that we make in our practice. That's why we take that time to center, to recognize and honor who's here. And then allow those choices to be in alignment with that person. So this practice becomes yours, a gift you've given yourself today. And allow those choices to line up with that gift, with what you need. Trust that guidance from within as we move along together, and a willingness on your end to just honor a different choice if that needs to be made. Take care of yourselves. Each time we choose to honor ourselves, to be in alignment with our truth, we are expressing self-love, self-compassion. Bring your awareness and your breath to your heart center. Imagine your heart is breathing. In and out. The heart is taking the breath in and out. Heart is breathing. As the heart breathes, we also allow the belly to expand, to rise and fall. So opening and embracing our emotions and our emotional center, allowing that energy to flow. Notice the sensations that you're feeling right now. Check in with that energy body again. There may be things that really resonated with you this morning. Trust that that information is already there. Nothing to hang on to or grasp. And allow your inner teacher to guide you. I'm just making suggestions, and I encourage your inner teacher to guide you through the practice today. Let's go ahead and bring the knees and the edges of your feet all the way together. Right? So if the knees were straight, go ahead and bend them. Feet are planted. Inner edges of the feet are touching, knees are touching. So we're squeezing the legs together lightly. Arms can rest wherever you'd like. You can bring them out wide on your belly. If it would feel good to just open them overhead, you're welcome to do that as well. And we're going to start with a very small movement, side to side. Just our sacral rock, most of you know this well. Keeping the feet planted, so all 4 points of your feet firmly planted in the mat. We're not allowing the edges of your feet to come off the floor yet. So this movement's rather small. It's just a few inches side to side, right across the sacrum. And as we begin these movements and they're rather small, it's not uncommon for the breath to become more shallow. So bring your attention and very deliberately breathe deeply here. Long, extended, but comfortable breaths, no strain, no stress. That breathing technique, just to remind ourselves again and again to maintain that breathing, keeps us in the moment. It gives our minds something to play with other than the thoughts it likes to take off into. And listening to the physical body, noticing what you're experiencing, continuously asking the questions on how you can serve, how your choices can serve this physical body today. And notice if it would Feel nice to make this movement a little bit bigger, allowing the edges of the feet to come off the floor. Or if keeping it smaller today is really feeling nice, trust that. And slowly allowing the knees to drop side to side. I am going to encourage you, unless you're watching this class later in a video and it's in the afternoon and you're all warmed up, we're taping this in the morning. Right? We're taking this class in the morning and it's really a little cold. So we want to really take care to not drop the knees too far at this time into too deep of a twist. Just really taking care of our low backs, being gentle. And bring that back to center. And just notice any sensations. Bring your feet hip width apart, parallel. And then find our way into our hip hikers or sliders. So just sliding the hips up the mat. Beginning the practice in a very subtle, slow movements. Continuously bringing ourselves back to the moment, to our breath, to our hearts. And then bring that to center. And come into hip pointers. Point the right hip up and then reverse the left. Opposite cheek stays on the floor. The knees might move towards you and away from you like scissors. They don't sway side to side, so just be aware of that. Oftentimes, if the knees are swaying side to side, the movement's a little bigger than it needs to be. And listen to your body. Bring that to center. And now take a moment to just alternate between those two. Do some hip hikers. And then a few hip pointers, just back and forth. Continue to investigate. Breathe. Be curious. Be patient with the person on the mat today. And then we'll bring that to center and just feel the echo of your choices. Good. Now let's go ahead, finding our way into some pelvic tilt. So tuck the pelvis under, posterior tip of the pelvis. We flatten the low back on the floor. Reverse that into an anterior tip. Right, so just back and forth here. The feet are just resting lightly on your mat. Really, we're generating this movement more from the core and the movement of the pelvis than it is from pressing into your feet. It's meant to be rather small, mindful. Rock the pelvis to neutral. And then draw the knees into the chest. And now we will posteriorly tip the pelvis again. When it's rounding, our low back's flattened into the floor. Just hug those knees in as close as it feels safe for you. Feeling the stretch through the low back. Just pause and breathe here before we come into our movement. Just allow the body to drop into this stretch here. Slow, steady, deep breaths. And now we'll take this into our Apanasana, inhale, arm lengths away, exhale towards you. And so not only warming up through the low back and sacrum, but we're going to warm up a little bit in the hip flexors here. And then we'll move from here into knee circles. We keep the knees together, we're just circling them around. Continuing to stay present to the physical body, to your breath. Reverse that, circle the other way. And then bring the feet back into the floor and extend them along the floor. Let's extend the legs along the floor. Reach the arms overhead. So just a nice full body stretch here. You might even reach right and left. Just like we're just waking up and just kind of stretching out the kinks in the body. And then go ahead and draw the knees in. Wrap the arms around the shins. If it's safe on your neck, bring your head up off the floor. Just really giving yourself a hug, wrapping yourself up tightly. Let's inhale, extend and lengthen, take in all that you need for yourself today. Willingness to receive the gifts of this practice and hug that in, draw it all in. And one more time, energy of receiving. Extend and lengthen and stretch, heart open. And exhale, hug it all in. Seal the deal. And just slowly, maybe rolling side to side a little bit. We had a bit of a request for some flow. So let's do some flow. We're in the winter time right now. We're in colder weather. So we could do a more active flow, and we can also keep it more mindful and slow. So really tap into what you need this morning. Let's go ahead and roll onto one side. And know that as we move through various flows, that you have the option to slow it down or speed it up to really find what's resonating for you today. Let's go ahead, if you have 2 blocks, have them nearby at the front of your mat. But for now, we're going to place the palms in our mats, maybe almost as wide as the mat. So that's a little wider than shoulder width apart. Just feel that sense of stability, just a larger platform in which to arrange ourselves. Our palms and our knees and the tops of our feet and the shins grounding into the earth, feeling that support beneath us, connecting into that support. And the upper body and the spine, your torso feels light. Right? We exhale and we round the spine, tuck the tail and the head. And then reverse that. As you inhale, soften the heart towards the mat, lift the tail and the head. A little bit of a back bend. Exhaling, round, and inhaling, open. Allowing your heart to guide you, your inner wisdom. Really continue to listen to the body, so that the choices you make nurture and nourish you. And from here, let's find a little fluidity in our movement, a little creativity. Start to just circle the body around, circle the hips. Again, big or small, it's up to you. Really keep it slow and juicy, or create the movements a little more quickly. Play with both. See what feels right for you. Eventually circle or change direction, circling the other way. fours, back to center, and then just kind of move side to side with the body a bit. And then we can start to kind of combine all that movement, the cat-cow, the circling of the hips, the side to side, and it just takes us on a little exploration, a little journey on our mat, all from all fours. It's very simple and yet profound movement in the body. This is part of moving into what I've been referring to lately in the feminine side of things, letting go of so much structure and perfection, right? And just allowing ourselves to move in a more fluid way. And then from here, we'll come back to center and start to find our way into Chakravarkasana. Exhale, draw back into a child's pose, or just as far back as it feels right for you. Inhale up to all fours. Just back and forth. Exhale, draw back. And inhale, we rise up. There's a lightness to this flow. The breath is moving us, as opposed to the muscular structure. Just feel there's a lightness in this movement as we connect to that breath. Creating a lightness in our hearts. And then we can now take those circles as we draw back into all the way into a child's pose, circling around. So we just make these circles even bigger. And you can pull forward with the heart if that feels good, and back around. I would encourage you to have an engagement of the core as you come forward, so we're not dropping or dumping into the low back. Just a few times in one direction and then switch. Again, finding that flow, the softness, the fluidity. And then coming back to center. Good. So let's go ahead from here and work asymmetrically across the spine. Again, a little bit of flow here as we come into alternate arm and leg lift. So, inhaling, right arm, left leg, shoulder height, hip height. And then exhale, come back to all fours. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Core is engaged, spine extended. Exhale, back to all fours. And just move with this. Inhaling, we lift. Exhaling, we lower. All fours. Finding a grace and an ease here in this flow. Really working on strengthening through the back body. We're connecting with our breath. The coordination of this movement and breath helps to quiet the mind. Yeah, you'll notice if the mind goes off somewhere, more often than not, we try to lift the same arm and leg and then topple over. Staying present. And we can add on to this. So after you've lifted the arm and the leg, we can exhale if you want. You don't have to. And we draw back to a child's. And then we inhale the opposite arm and leg. Everything lifts. And exhale, everything lowers. So again, just finding the movement that serves you today. Doing something totally different if you need to take care of your body. When you've gone equally side to side, find your way into a child's pose, or some of you need to find your way onto your belly because of your knees, that's fine. Maybe place one hand on top of the other, allowing the head or your forehead to rest on the hands. Just taking a moment, finding a more neutral position in the neck. Breathe into the back body, and just feel the practice so far. Let's go ahead, come on up to hands and knees, curl the toes under and find our first down dog this morning, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Right, and just pedal the feet, bending the knees, and just like we did from hands and knees, just have some fun here. Just explore and play and move around through the spine in any way that feels good to you. You can flip the toes over on one foot and just kind of circle the ankle and stretch the top of the foot. Right, that's an option. Sometimes it feels nice to pull forward a bit into a plank pose. Just throwing out ideas and options to play with. Coming up onto the balls of your feet, right? Stretching the toes, lifting the heels as high as you can. Lifting the leg up as high as you'd like to. That's another option, right? Just stretching, opening up. And when you feel complete there, go ahead and come back down to the knees and release into a child's or onto the belly. Notice if you would like to rest your head in your hands again or keep the arms extended this time. Breathe into the back body once again. And let's find our way into our mini flow. And here you'll be able to really decide if you want to move more quickly and what you want to add on to this. So from here, let's inhale to hands and knees. Curl the toes under and exhale, down dogs. We'll start off slow and just kind of come into all the different options, different ways we can take this flow. Very simple. Inhale, knees, exhale, down dog. Inhale, knees, exhale, child's. Beautiful flow. You can just stay with this one. You can close the eyes if you feel comfortable doing so. And just alternately exhale between down dog and child's. And just move at a pace that feels right for you with your breath. And then I'll just give you some options. As you inhale up from child's pose, some of you, it might feel nice to extend the heart forward, keep the spine long, core engaged. And then exhale into down dog. And so that's an option. Another option is to come up onto the knees as we fold side to side. So it's an option to, from child's or hands and knees, inhale up, exhale, fold to one side. So again, I'm just giving you choices, and you might have found something that works for you that's totally different. Honor that guidance from within. Move in a way that serves you. Just keep breathing, moving, connecting from within, allowing that guidance from within to find the expression outwardly. Let's take about 3 to 4 more breaths here. And eventually finding your way, or the next time you do find your way into a child's pose or onto your belly, pause, feel, breathe. Allow that breath to expand into the back body. And let's find your way up to hands and knees. Inhale, exhale, down dog. And then from here, go ahead and walk your feet to your hands, coming into a standing forward fold. Hang out for a moment. Even if you have to bend the knees, bend the knees. You have an option for your blocks if you grab them, right? To hang out on the block, be a little lifted, a little more lifted through the heart and the spine. We're finding just a gentle stretch in the back of the legs. So you bend the knees as much as you need to experience a soft stretch. Bring your hands to your hips, bend the knees, engage your core, lengthen the spine, and slowly find your way up to standing. Coming on into Tadasana, your mountain pose, connecting both feet into the earth. I'm just going to turn so I face you. Right. Feet are directly underneath the hips for now, arms by your side. Just breathe here, find your place and space as we come to standing, just noticing if you need to take a moment to find your balance. Feel that connection beneath, supporting above, right? That union of opposites. Good, so we're still in the month of December, so let's go ahead and come into our immune system points. So we start with the Hegu point, and it's right between the thumb and the finger, that soft fleshy point in there. I'm going to adjust my camera here so you can see me standing. And just notice if there's some tenderness there. So this is good for the overall chi. It's really good for large intestine and our lungs. And it's also really good for headaches or dizziness. Anything going on with the head. And then go ahead and switch and massage the other side. Keep breathing as you do so. And then we're going to go ahead and take our hands and just kind of knock them together, right? About 30 times, one direction. Deep, full breaths. And then we switch the other way. So I hope that some of you are remembering these now. We've done them several times, that you can do them on your own every day. So when we're not practicing together, I really encourage you to do them at home as well. And then relax that and just notice the vibrations, the sensations there in your hands or anywhere else that you may be experiencing it. Good. From the crease of your wrist, 3 fingers. Yeah. And right where that third finger hits, just off from that, there's a little tender point here, or could be tender. Right. Nagwan point. This is really good for circulation, for our heart health, heart chi, and our chest. So therefore our immune system as well. Just massage that. Just taking my thumb. Be gentle, don't have to be forceful here, but do stay present with it. Right. And then we just take the palm of your hand, just kind of lightly tap flat fingers on that point. And then switch, let's work to the other side. So 3 fingers, find that point there, massage, Nagwan point. You might notice, I notice that one side is more tender than the other. This is also nice for our blood pressure too. And then flat fingers, just light tapping on that point. Good. And then the last point, Zusan Li. So longevity and really nice for the immune system as well. So if you were to place your palms over your kneecaps, notice where the ring finger hits. And then just light fist, just kind of knock on the side there. Several deep breaths. And then we'll go ahead, come to standing and just noticing the overall sensations through the body. So we had a request for flow, which we've done a little bit of, and sometimes it can also mean kind of getting the energy flowing in the body. So I'd like to go ahead and do our shaking, right? We've done this in the past. And we're going to start with the tips of our fingers. Our arms are relaxed by your side, and we're going to go ahead and just start to wiggle the fingers or just kind of shake the hands a little bit. As you're doing so, breathe and just allow that vibration to come up through the arm. You're going to notice it through the forearm, the elbow, and it travels into the upper arm and the shoulder, both shoulders. And then you might start to just move around through the shoulders, start to feel the head and the chest, and notice the whole torso starts to follow. And then the legs, and you might even lift and shake the legs and the feet so the whole body starts to engage in the shaking, or just moving energy, shifting it, just shifting it. And just noticing the sensations. We're going to slowly draw this to stillness again, come back to center. And just feel that. And just feel that flood of energy move through the body. Good. So let's go ahead and inhale, bring the arms, the palms are down for a moment. We're going to open them wide as we're like drawing up from the earth. We're just pulling up wonderful healing energy from the earth. As we reach shoulder height, the palms start to shift up. And we continue to inhale up as we also take in all the amazing energy above us. And then we're going to flood our bodies from head to toe as we bend the elbows, palms face down, and we just press or fill that energy throughout our whole being, head to toe. Take a breath here. The willingness to receive what you need today. Inhaling all the way up. Bring it all into a big ball of energy above you, and exhale. Fill yourself with that healing energy. At the end of practice, we're going to come into a healing yoga nidra, just a general healing. Right? And this healing that we need may be physical, or maybe emotional, mental, spiritual, or all of it. And again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Take a breath here, feel that. So we're going to go ahead now and come in and again, continuing with that connection to the energy down and or beneath and above us. So let's inhale, we cross the right arm in front of the left. As you press up above the crown of the head with that right hand, the left hand presses down to the earth as you rotate to the left. We inhale, come back front or face forward with the left hand in front of the right. Left hand presses up, right hand presses down as we rotate to the right. Slow flow. Connecting earth and heaven. Inhale, knees are soft, spine long. Exhale, press up and press down. Inhale. And exhale. So just connecting to what this feels like for you, what it means to you. And I share with you how it feels to me. And then also honor your practice, your experience here. Finding that loving acceptance of this practice and what it means for you. When you've gone equally side to side, come back to center. Right hand to your heart, left hand on top. Take 3 deep breaths into your heart, the feminine resting on top of the masculine, a softening and embracing trust and faith in yourself and something bigger than yourself. Meet yourself where you are. Beautiful. Release the hands. Find your way to the front of your mat. Let's take our blocks. Make sure they're close by so you can get to them easily. I'll do a little more flow here. So as I've been suggesting the whole practice, please take care of yourself and move in a way that serves you. Your body, your energy body, your physical body, your mental state, your emotional body, your spiritual body. Align with all of those. Inhale, reach up. Palms together as you exhale down through center, fold forward. And let's step our right foot all the way back and bring the right knee into the floor. Take our blocks if you have them. If you don't, it's okay. You can just have your hands on your mat and it's all right. Blocks are just a wonderful way to create some extra space and ease of movement. We inhale forward as we softly drop into that hip flexor. The heart lifts, spine lengthens, everything opens, and it's an expansive energy. It's an energy of moving outward. And then as we draw back, we start to work towards straightening the front leg. Maybe the toes come up off the floor. And this is about energy about going in. Both are needed. I want you to experience this, feel this in your practice if you can. Inhale, expand out. Your energy is expanding out. And then exhaling, we're drawing it in. There's times when we need to go in, and there's times when it's nice to find our expression moving outward. If you're really relating to the physical body this morning, you can feel your hip flexor, right hip flexor as you move forward. We're feeling into the left hamstring, the back of that left leg as we move back. And anywhere else you might be experiencing this. Nice, slow, flowing, move and lunge. From here, as you come forward, go ahead and move the blocks out of the way. Come to hands and knees. Palms anchored into your mat, into the earth. Find a little cat-cow. Exhaling round. Inhaling open. So we're continuously flowing, but very mindfully. And we're staying in the present moment. And we're going to curl the toes under, find your way into down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and walk this one out. So here, check in for a moment, and would it feel nice to drop into some stillness on this down dog, or are you really enjoying the movement? Right, so just take 3 to 4 breaths here. You decide whether you want to walk your dog or the dog. You're just going to be in some stillness here, hang out. Be in the pose. And then either from down dog or come to the knees first. And take that right foot forward. Left knee down. Come back to the blocks if you're using them. And then from here, we'll go ahead and find that slow movement. We inhale, expand out. Our energy expands out. We open, we lengthen. Exhale, we're drawing inward, folding inside ourselves, and sometimes that's necessary. Right? As we expand out, it's a giving energy, we're giving of ourselves, doing for others. And then there's those times when we need to honor where we're at, to rest, to take care of ourselves. Self-care, we draw in. There's a lot of ways to look at this or feel into this. The next time you come forward, remove the blocks. Again, press back to hands and knees. A little cat-cow. We're going to come into down dog once again, unless you desire something different. Right, so take a moment here, listen, see where you're drawn to go. It may be to a child's pose, and maybe onto your belly. Or if you'd like to join me, we'll come into another down dog. And here you have the option once again to be in stillness or to move. Just take about 3 to 4 nice slow deep breaths here. Enjoy your pose, whatever you're choosing to do. Now from down dog or from wherever you are, find your way into down dog for a moment so we can walk our feet to our hands back to a standing forward fold. Hang out for a moment. Uttanasana. And either the arms are by your side, reaching behind you or out wide, but we want to protect our backs. So engage the core, lengthen the spine, reaching the heart forward as we come up. And bring it all into the heart. Beautiful. Let's take a breath here. All right. We're going to do a little flow, and it's also a bit of balancing. And it has the name, and it has something to do with a rooster, but I can't remember the exact name of it. And we're going to start with our feet pretty wide because we're going to move, shift side to side. Okay, so the feet are as wide or if not wider than your shoulders. Right? And as we do this, so we're going to shift to the left leg, and as we do that, we're going to start to bring the right knee up, if you can, higher than your hip. Elbow bend with your thumb right by your, from a side view, it looks like this. So my knees higher than my hip, my hands right in front of my face, where my thumb is. And then we come back down, and then we shift to the other side. So, spine tall, core engaged, very slow, mindful, moving meditation, requiring balance, requiring focus, right? Mindfulness, and just moving side to side. See if you can just go slow and steady with this. Find your drishti, find that point in front of you. I'm noticing one side, I'm having an easier time of this than the other. You might be noticing the same thing. When you've gone equally side to side, pause and just feel. Enjoy both feet underneath us in a wider stance where we can connect into that sense of stability and support, groundedness. Good. Find your way back to the front of your mat if you're not there, and feet hip width apart. So let's take that salutation now, put it all together that we kind of played with a moment ago into our sun salutation. So salute to the sun. Let's honor another day that we have on this planet together and with ourselves. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Right foot steps back. If you prefer a high lunge, you're welcome to come up from here or bring that right knee to the floor and inhale up. Take a moment here in your lunge, whether it's a high or low lunge you're choosing. Find your expression, whether you want to keep the arms overhead or keep them low. Okay, lots of options. Take a couple of breaths here, allowing your outer expression to be part of your inner experience, right? Your inner life expanding out. It was just a feeling. And then exhaling, fold. Press back either to hands and knees or to plank pose. So just decide you want a little bit of a stronger pose or something a little softer. Just come to the knees. Either way, take a breath or two, engaging your core. And then go ahead and find your way onto your belly, either from knees or from through chaturanga. All the way down though. We're going to come all the way to the floor as we slowly lift the heart. Take a moment here. You're only gazing a few inches in front of you. We don't want to lift the head way up. We're trying to keep the back of the neck elongated. The palms are very lightly resting in the floor near your heart, near your chest. And the lift is occurring from the upper back. Engage the core. We're really lifting from the upper back, and we're not pressing into our hands to create the lift. One more breath here. Keep that core engaged as you press up to the knees and into down dog. Feel the pose, feel the results of the practice. Notice the sensations you're having in your body. Either come down to the knees or look up and swing that right foot forward. High lunge, you can come up from here or come into the left knee to the floor. And inhale into your expression today in the pose. Trust that inner teacher. Allow yourself to be guided from within. And exhale, fold forward, and step the left foot up. Back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Arms by your side. Or you can start to open them wide, engage the core, lengthen the spine. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, bring it all into your heart. Breathe here, feel the practice. You can keep your hands at your heart. You can release the arms by your side. Place the left hand on top of the right. All these choices, very simple, right? Choose a path, no regrets. Be present to the choice at hand. Good. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Left foot steps all the way back, high or low lunge. Inhale, come up. Find your expression in the pose. 2 to 3 breaths. exhale, fold. Either to hands and knees or plank pose. One more breath. And then very slowly lower, chest first, to the floor. Inhale, small lift of the heart. And exhale, press back into down dog. And then again, finding your way to bring that left foot forward. And either a high or low lunge. And when you're ready, inhale, float up. Breathe into your heart, no matter what position in the upper body you are choosing. And then on your next exhale, fold forward and step the right foot up. Step your back foot forward, come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. And inhale, come to standing. Exhale into your heart. Feel the echo of the practice and the choices you've made for yourself. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Let's go ahead and walk both feet back and come to your knees. And then if you'd like to, take the knees a little wider than we would normally take in child's pose. Let the big toes touch, okay, and draw back. Now, if this does not serve you, you can come onto your belly instead. Okay, and you can take the legs wide on your belly, just extend them along the floor. And that feels really nice too. Otherwise, we're going to drop in between the thighs with the belly. You can rest the forehead on the floor, or if you've enjoyed lifting the head a bit with your hands, you can do that. Breathe here. Take a moment just to breathe into the practice so far. Opportunity to be still and listen. Let's come on up. We're going to find our way onto our backs. I'm going to guide you into a double knee twist. I'm going to be pretty minimal with this because I'm taking care of my low back today. But I want you to have lots of props nearby. So that might be blocks and or a blanket to find this twist safely in your body. So again, I'm going to show you a pretty minimal range of motion just due to what I have going on. You can also find a deeper expression if that serves you today. Because what we're going to do, I'll tell you where we're going. So we're going to pick our hips up and shift them to the left. Right, so that I've literally shifted my lips and my hips to the left. And I'm going to pick my knees up. And we're going to be dropping them to the right. Okay, so some of you may be very easily able to just drop the knees to the right, open the arms wide from the shoulders, and be in a position that just is utter bliss for you. But there's a lot of ways to modify this, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to really modify it this morning. So I'm going to take a blanket folded pretty thickly underneath my bottom leg, and then the top, I'm going to place a block between my knees and open to the right, or drop to the right with all that support beneath me, okay? And that feels safe for me today. Shoulders stay open. You can find something in between. you might have the knees stacked on top of one another with a block underneath you. You could do this with just one block, okay? So just really listen to, maybe I'll try that with a blanket in between the knees. You can do the opposite. That might feel nice. So whether you want to come into a deeper twist or minimize it, there's lots of ways to do that. Just feel safe in your back, please. Both shoulders remain in the floor. So in this case, we're really checking out with the left shoulder because it's going to want to pop up and roll with you. Our hearts are wide open. And then once you've settled into your pose, rotate your head to the left. So the knees drop to the right, we're rotating the head to the left. And breathe. So twists are wonderful for digestion, massaging the internal organs, wringing things out. Think of it as being cleansing and detoxifying. This could be physical toxins, it could be emotional toxins. Take about 3 to 4 more breaths on this side. And then we'll go ahead and bring all that back to neutral. So recenter the hips. Take a moment to notice how the body's responding to that first side. Just noticing any sensations, subtle ones to obvious ones. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So I'm literally picking my buttocks up and shifting it to the right. Okay. And then again, some of you are going to be able to pick the knees up and just twist right over. Or use props, 1, 2, or many, whatever you'd like, so that this right shoulder is going to stay on the floor and your low back feels nice and safe as you move into this twist. And once you've settled into your expression of the pose in the lower half of the body, arms open wide, hearts open, shoulders maintaining contact with your mat. And you can rotate your head to the right and breathe here. Take 3 to 4 more breaths. And then we'll go ahead and bring all of that back to neutral. Recenter the hips. Again, taking a moment to just feel, listen, pay attention to the echo of the practice. From here, we'll draw the knees into the chest, rounding the low back from that twist. Notice if you'd like to just hold the knees and breathe, or if you'd like to come into our movement of Apanasana or knee circles. All right, so just meet your practice where you're at. Trust that guidance. Make the choice without any regrets or doubts. Good. Bring the feet back into your mat and take a few moments here for our hip hikers and pointers. You can alternate between these two again or come to your favorite and just stick with that one. And then I'm going to invite you into Shavasana. So find your way into your corpse pose. Okay, this is a place for us to let go and open to receive the gifts of this practice. A willingness to receive those gifts, integrate them, so we can carry them with us into the rest of our day, into the rest of our week. As you settle into Shavasana, I'm going to find my way to seated. I'm going to guide you through a Yoga Nidra practice this morning. So make sure you're warm and comfortable, that there's no distractions in the physical body, using whatever props you need to be comfortable. Extra blankets, socks on your feet, something underneath the knees, a lot of options. Are you willing to take care of yourself? Make those choices. As you get comfortable and settled in, notice if there's any last minute adjustments you want to make. We do want to try to have our arms out away from us if you can, palms up, not really wide, but several inches from your side body. It opens the heart, allows the shoulders to softly open and opens our heart. We want to allow our legs to be so relaxed the feet splay open. Means we're not holding on to anything here. Body supported on your backs in Shavasana, letting go. Allow your body to open to the earth. Simply relax your whole body. There isn't tension anywhere. Become aware of the space your body occupies. And begin to sense a nurturing tone to the environment. The atmosphere you're in is charged with ease, healing, and deep relaxation. Become aware of your body breathing as the abdomen rises and falls with each breath. Your breath is effortless, chest is still, and the abdomen softly rising and falling. Now begin to slowly shape your breath. The inhale and the exhale is as smooth as possible. And refine the breath so there are no pauses or coarse portions to the flow. Inhale, smoothly flowing into the exhale. Exhale into the inhale. Smooth transition from one to the other. There's a slight internal awareness or sound of the breath. There's no strain or no effort and no pauses in the flow. Continue to breathe as slowly and smoothly as possible for the next minute. As you exhale, empty the mind and replenish and heal mind and body on each inhale. And gradually discontinue any shaping of the breath and allow it to return to an involuntary pattern. Breath will find its own rhythm as you inhale and exhale effortlessly. Bring your awareness to the midbrain or your third eye center, and deep in that space, sense a point of light, like a luminous star, a star-like point of light in the midbrain. This light is healing and recharging. As you relax, sense the breath present in that space. Bring awareness to the throat center. See or feel a star-like point of light in the throat. And allow this point of light to travel with you as we journey through the body. The right shoulder, point of light. Right elbow. Right wrist, and the breath, presence and light. Tip of the right thumb, point of light. Index fingertip. Middle finger, relax. Ring finger. Little finger. Right wrist, point of light. Mind, body, and breath are effortless. Relax. Right elbow. Right shoulder. Throat center, point of light. Whole body effortless. Left shoulder. Left elbow. Left wrist, point of light, relax. Left thumb tip, index finger, tip of the middle finger, ring finger, relax. Little finger. Left wrist, completely relaxed. Left elbow, star-like point of light, relax. Left shoulder. Throat. See or feel the light in the throat center. Let go. No trying. Heart center. Center of the right chest. Heart center. Point of light. presence, awareness in the heart. Left chest, heart center, navel center, top of the sacrum, light to top of the sacrum, right hip joint, right knee, right ankle, tip of the right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, tip of the little toe, point of light, right ankle, right knee, right hip joint, point of light, top of the sacrum, relax, nothing to do, left hip joint, left knee, left ankle, star-like point of light, tip of the left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, tip of the little toe, point of light, relax, left ankle, knee, hip, point of light, top of the sacrum, navel center, heart center, throat center, point of light, midbrain or third eye, point of light. Relax the whole body, star-like point of light in the midbrain or third eye. Now see all of the points at once, like twinkling lights in the night sky. All of these points are vibrant, awake, luminous. The body has become a constellation of points of light. Now sense the space between those points. Pure, undiluted spaciousness. You are space and points of light. Notice the breath moving through that space. You are spacious awareness, conscious of the breath that moves through that space. Now sense that the body has dissolved. And you've dissolved into a cloud or a rose-colored light. The boundaries of the body have dissolved into a cloud of rose color. Dissolve all thought, all grasping concepts, just melt into a rose-colored cloud. And eventually you dissolve completely and become the cloud, aware of itself. Eventually, let go completely, no image, no more becoming, just rest in timeless being. Just being, awareness and the breath, asleep to the finite, awake to the infinite. Sense your breath as the link to boundless intelligence and consciousness. Once again, bring your awareness on your breath. Maybe even taking a few deep breaths, coming back to the space you occupy. Feel the body. As you feel your body slowly begin to create a bit of movement, maybe wiggling some fingers and toes or stretching overhead. And slowly roll to one side. And after pausing there for a few breaths, come to a seated position just for a moment. Softly close the eyes and let's just do a brief check-in with who's about to enter the rest of the day. So just noticing the physical body and any shifts that may have occurred. Our energy body, any sensations that may be different. Mental and emotional shifts that might have occurred or changed. We deepen our wisdom body, the ability to hear and feel that wisdom from within. And maybe ever so briefly we were able to come back home to our truth of peace. We may have caught glimpses of that. So whomever is about to complete this practice and enter in the day, a willingness to be open to detours, to honor who this person is. Do we allow your choices that you make today to be in alignment in what nourishes you in your heart? Let's bring our palms together. Honor yourselves for showing up for you, for one another. And as always, I thank you from all my heart, the bottom of my heart, each week that you show up and allow me to take the seat of teacher. Namaste.